Now you're fucking with the champs.
Yeah.
That is hot, man. I love the way that sounds.
Fucking with the champs.
Don't you want to be in Brazil right now listening to this? That's there. That's Fela. That's not Fela Kuti. Yes, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like a soul groove with Portuguese behind it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what the best that sounds like this? That's fucking the shit. If you go, you ever listen to Ethiopian jazz?
I've heard stuff like that.
Fucking the best.
Yeah.
Ethiopian. It's on iTunes. It's great.
No,
Ethiopian jazz.
Yeah, Ethiopian jazz.
It's not really jazz though.
I've eaten.
It is jazz.
Famine. It's
Ethiopian.
jazz, it's
Right.
famine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're fucking with the champs.
It's international.
Guys, I'm Neal Brennan.
Right.
The I know you. Hey, you're sensing. Hey, that's a black voice.
That's a sultry black
Man,
voice.
you know what? Let me just-
Now we talk a lot on this show about The Wire. We talk about white people's deep, abiding love of The Wire.
Right. I
It's
said
true,
recently
it's true.
Jeremy Lin is Asian people's The Wire.
Yeah, that's
Dig-
about right. I said The Wire is white people's roots,
Oh, that's
which
good.
is
man.
ironic, and got a lot of people were torn on that.
That's real good.
From The Wire,
Tis true.
season 3, 4, 5, 6.
There is no season 6.
Well, were you in it though? If they do a
Silly
reunion,
motherfucker.
if they do a Wire reunion like the Cheers reunion.
I'm coming back as Stringer Bell.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Who
make
wouldn't want to be Stringer Bell,
You know what I
right?
mean?
From
Shit.
The Wire, you know him as Cutty, ladies and gentlemen. Chad Coleman,
What?
everybody. Chad Coleman. Yeah.
I don't know what the. Can we curse?
Yeah, you do whatever
Okay, I
you
don't know
want
what
on
the
the
fuck he's
channel.
talking about. It's Chad L. Coleman.
Oh, is it really?
That's a huge difference there.
You're in my
Don't
phone.
bully.
You're in my phone as Chad Coleman.
You know, see?
You got to put that
This
L in there.
is the kind of friend.
I don't like
This is the kind of friend I have.
I don't like that's some
Chad
actor
Coleman. Chad Coleman.
shit. Chad Coleman, you sound white. What can you tell white people?
What can you tell white people?
that they don't already know?
What can I tell white people?
Did you
about-
guys? Is it one of those things where it
Jesus
felt
Christ.
felt special when you were making it? Because
Oh,
you
you white
started
people.
second, third season.
All right, listen, man. White people made it, okay?
Yeah,
You know, so white people made it. Did y'all know that?
they think that it just sprouted.
created it.
like it was a documentary about
Right.
the hood or
Are
something.
you
Nah.
from Baltimore?
Nah.
Where are you from?
I'm kidding.
You from the pregnant pause, the land of the pregnant pause.
Yeah. No, I am from that region, man. Definitely. Honestly, I am from Richmond, Virginia, which was about 2.5 hours from the Baltimore.
Does every woman fuck you the moment you start speaking to them, essentially? Hello, I'm... Okay, you know what? You've already won. Here's my phone number. Here's my panties. You didn't even let me get through my sentence.
Tell us how'd you
Surprise, motherfucker.
how'd you get the part on The Wire?
You recorded me? Thank you. Damn.
Oh, is that from
him?
The Wire?
That was me.
That's
Surprise, motherfucker. Okay.
Surprise, motherfucker.
So, fuck you, too.
You're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
You're threatening yourself.
Sometimes I creep up on myself. Now, what were you asking
Oh, I
me?
do
How
that
did you
too.
get the part?
How did I get the part, man? Geez, I hate to demystify this whole fucking thing, man.
Don't.
I'm going to be real with you. I auditioned.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Shut up, hippie.
How many times you auditioned?
No, here's the real deal. Alexa Fogel is a great casting director. Love her, just an actor's casting director. If you think about it, if you say like in basketball, use an analogy, you say, the coach, he is a player's coach.
Right.
So she gets the game. She understands actors very well. And so I had gone in for something else. And when the audition was over, she kind of turned her head sideways. And I was like, oh, shit. She ain't feeling this shit again. What's going on? And lo and behold, she was sizing me up. They They didn't have sides for the character.
Right.
They knew who he was, but they didn't have any sides for him. So she was looking at my physicality and was like, yeah. So then I went in and actually I was reading the sides of J.D. Williams' character, Bodie.
Right.
That was the language.
But he's like 20 years
I
younger.
know,
Yeah.
but the temperament, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like all about, it was the look, the physicality, and what I bring to the table. And so that got me in front of the producers,
Right.
David and Nina and Ed.
And did they have sides by that point?
The sides I had, yes. Yeah, now we're on.
So
Now
sides for the listeners at home are the lines that they give the actor to read in the audition.
Basically, the
it's a
copy that
portion
you're
of
gonna
the
be reading.
script.
Yeah.
And so, yes, then they finally had written out the character. And so I go in and
And are you thinking this is the like? Did you know about it? Because it was.
yes,
sort of
I did.
underground.
I knew it. No. I knew it absolutely because to be very, very real. In New York, man, most of us lived in Brooklyn.
Right.
Most of us were doing theater.
Right.
So we knew each other.
Yeah.
And so like Wood Harris, I was roommates with Wood.
Right.
At one point. And so that's actually initially why I tuned in. So
Oh,
let me
okay.
check out
All right.
Wood. Let me see what Wood's
Yeah.
doing. I heard about this show, and a young lady I was dating at the time, she was like very into it, and like, yo, you need
White
to
lady.
check this out.
White lady?
No.
Impossible. What do you say, man?
Now, yeah.
Now that I've been on the
Yeah,
wire.
yeah.
You got like a key to the white pussy city?
Well, if I did, bro,
You wouldn't talk
if
about
I did. So what happened was, I went in and I did my thing, and they were like, okay, he's not really sure of himself.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Now, a buddy of mine had gone in prior to this, and his question to them when they presented that was, is he Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? Okay, dude. I just simply said, is he removed? Meaning, you know what that means.
Well, that's what I wanted. The first time you did it, because I know the character, it is like
Hate
he is a
leads
bit.
to suffering.
The insecurity comes from getting out of jail. It seems like getting out of jail, felony, can't get work. All that shit.
Things have moved on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's trying to maintain in a space that's totally different.
Right.
So that's where that insecurity came from. And so they said he's not really sure of himself. I was like, cool. Is he removed? They're like, yeah. And so then we proceeded to do the scene again, and I spaced out. I forgot every line. No, this is sincerely the truth. Forgot every line, didn't know what was gonna come out of my mouth, and everything came out.
Right.
And it was like, they were like, great adjustment. I was like, okay.
It was one of those things where the tone of voice was
Out of
like,
body
you
experience.
got the part.
Well, no, I didn't know because they still had to deal with a burp.
That was a fucking really nice.
Thank you.
You could have
That was a
pretend.
slick burp. You
I was
even
gonna
burp
let it
slick.
go, but
You couldn't.
let it
We
go.
tried.
This shit is
You know
real,
what?
man.
To our credit, to the champ's credit, every one of us I could see tried to not comment on it, but we couldn't do it.
I've never seen a look away burp before.
Jesus.
That truly was like a look away.
Yeah, and it was so smooth.
I was like-
It reminds me.
Somehow I was gonna
When I
act
was-
as if you didn't hear that.
When I was a kid, I got real drunk, and then I had a cup of coffee. I drank the cup of coffee. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be sick. And I threw up in the cup of coffee, and it filled all the way to the brim, and I was standing right next to a garbage can. So I just went, "Bleh," and threw it away and just walked on. It was the slickest vomit
Some
of
hot
all
shit.
time.
Damn.
Last swallow, vomit, throw away.
Right
and we
place,
go.
right time. You were
Yeah.
at the right place at the right time.
And that's when the Lord
And did
carried me.
did you have to audition again?
Excellent.
No, that was it.
Okay, good.
That tape was kind of a resounding wow all throughout, everybody, even from like somebody in PR was like, we saw the tape. Wow. I was like,
Really?
okay,
They were
cool.
showing the audition tapes to PR
It's just,
people?
you know how they do, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. They maybe have some kind of party or something because the shit was so deep. It's just amazing.
Did somebody else just burp? Was that you again?
I did not.
Okay,
Oh, I'm
so
getting
you
mad,
did. So how many days? How many weeks did you work on it the first season? I mean, your first season.
My first season,
Go on.
they had guaranteed me 8 out of 12.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
I worked 12 out of 12.
Great.
They were very excited about what I brought to the table. And I say, if you look at the role, really in the whole pantheon, you go, wow, this is dude. He's the only character that started here and moved to a different position.
Right.
Nobody else, and not in a cheesy way. And a lot of time when we talk about the African American community, and from the standpoint of like, yo, we need positive role models. I mean, this guy was absolutely that, with no cheese. It was no cheesiness whatsoever. It was a real earnest attempt to change.
Did you? And then how did you know that it was? Did you feel like, oh, I'm gonna pop off this?
That was better than the mayo joke.
You're a funny mother.
That was.
Of course I did.
You did know.
Yeah, no. Listen, man. You know what, man? It's a very humbling ride. You know, and I'm not trying to be deep and all that, but man, ego is a motherfucker.
Ego's the worst. Ego's the enemy.
You just, you start doing that pop in the chest bullshit. This ain't rap, motherfucker. You're an actor, you know, and it's like you start assuming shit. Everything you assumed, that shit is getting crumbled. It's, you know, it's fucking like Hitler's waiting over there for you. Really? Right?
Wait, who's Hitler here?
You know what I'm saying? You understand what I mean? Like just a maniacal motherfucker that's
totally.
like,
Ready.
whatever
Takes
you
over
think you're gonna do, whatever move you think you're gonna make,
Instead, he's gonna kill the
it's
Jews.
done.
Oh, well, okay, but
You understand what I mean?
The difference between you were on an ensemble and everybody was great. That's were you kind of thinking like, well, there's only so many parts that for me would. Idris. I mean, that was.
No, man.
That was probably
I landed when Idris was ascending,
right,
and so it was a. I don't know, within the industry. I don't know, man. Sometimes it feels like, you know, you are next. You are the chosen one. So the rest of y'all motherfuckers, yeah, we know you're talented, whatever.
Yeah.
But here is the chosen
It's like everyone's
one.
decided, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And
it's like that in comedy, too.
But it was understandable, because on a certain level, you know, I take nothing away from something that comes natural to a human being in a certain way, you know. It just had a card that you know, women were incredibly responsive.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. You know, there's nothing you could do with that, you know. The bitches threw their panties all for him. It was like that.
Hell no.
So it wasn't, oh yeah. So you couldn't do anything with that, man. You know? So they, you know, the industry caught a hold of that, you know? Right. And so everybody else became, I don't know, I mean, this is my feelings. It's a sort of periphery. I was never in that where I've always been, I feel, has been like, that's a talented motherfucking actor right there.
Yeah.
You know, hey, all the rest of the stuff, you know, yeah, I got that too. But at the same time, what really resonated was my talent as an actor.
Right.
And then people I encountered, like, God damn, man, you know, you a fucking badass actor, man. That was great. Like, they identified with the work.
Right.
You know, it wasn't all the other bells and whistles. So
but
that's how I kind of believe it.
But having said that, you've gotten more work off the wire.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got
no question. It's a launching pad, but it's the thing that what you said. Like, we got huge egos, man. On a certain level, I'm a humble dude, but I know what I bring to the table as an artist. I know when I come to work, I'm not, you know, this ain't, you know, some little pop lock super bullshit.
You can you can breakdance.
Right.
I can though.
Humble dudes. I can't say I'm a humble dude though, right? That's the general go-to, right?
But see, that's the tricky part about it. Here's this amazing dance that goes on, because you know, it's different realms of
People
awareness.
always say success is humbling. You know what's really humbling? Failure.
Failure, humble.
Oh,
But I do have a real question for you.
You know, no. You know what's humbling? Egotistical expectations.
Yeah, and then not.
Right.
And then
So
not.
there
not
you go.
reach-
That's what you talk about the first.
So how do you push yourself as an actor? And the whole vibe in show business is me, look at me, I'm the shit.
That's right.
How do you push yourself forward as an actor, as you have done, and also subjugate your ego and deal with that? How do you do both things?
Well, you know, ego is Chad Coleman.
Yeah.
You know, Chad Coleman has to deal with and now I sound like I'm talking about to my
Third person.
And also,
and that's the shit that
he is
also
this
the
is
L. The L stinks.
And I left it. I left it out. I left it out when I was doing the third person. I left it out. I didn't say Chad L. Coleman. I was like Chad Coleman.
Yeah, it's so. And as an actor, you're gonna get humbled. I mean, you're humbled.
I think so. I don't know. Some do, some don't. I think for me,
but just the lack of work, just the basic lack of. There's so few jobs that it's like, how big can your ego get if you only have one audition this week? Or you know what I mean? Like that's the thing about comedy. I was talking to Bobby Lee about this today. Yeah. Comedy is the only profession where you wake up in the morning and go, I don't know how to do my job. I may never be funny again.
Right.
I may every fucking day.
Right.
I think that 5 times a day.
Right.
Like, I guess I've said my last funny thing.
Yeah, I think that all the time too. I wrote my last joke. But I think maybe it's the fact that what you were saying is like, maybe it's the fact that you're aware of your ego.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is what makes is the process.
That's
of
what
being,
I'm talking about.
Because the person who's truly an
you're never
egotistical,
going to lose that.
Right.
It's an ego-driven industry.
Right.
I can't do what I do in the industry, but I've got to somehow not separate, but just stay conscious.
Yeah.
It's like LT. Remember LT from the Giants?
Yeah.
It's like you're LT on the field.
Right.
Dude, when you get off the field, you're not. You better leave LT right there on that green. If you don't, and I found in my own life, I have to. It's like, dude, you better leave all this. You got to leave that shit there.
Do you find yourself getting gassed a lot by people?
What meaning? What? I don't
Meaning
know.
like,
gas?
brother,
I don't know.
you the shit, brother.
Yeah,
You up
absolutely,
there,
yeah.
And you just have to go like, oh, cool.
Well, you know what, Neal? First of all, I have to be incredibly gracious. I personally feel because a lot of actors miss it. If they don't watch, you ain't on.
Right.
So that's very gracious. Thank you. It's a powerful medium.
Yeah.
All right. We get it, You sit at home, and first, especially in TV, it's very personal. You're at home. You got control of that. You can play it back, So people are making connections with you that, you don't know who the fuck I am.
And they feel they know you.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Rames used to say.
So what I'm going to bring them, first and foremost, is a sense of, I clearly understand why you feel like you know me.
Right.
So we're gonna have a moment where I'm gonna give you something that says, yeah, man, I recognize what you're saying. I'm not dismissing it, and I appreciate you.
Right.
10 seconds later, if you're still following me,
that's the end of the moment.
The fucking block.
Yeah.
No, you got it. Everybody, come on, guys. Let's all recognize our lines. Let's recognize some fucking boundaries here.
Right.
I appreciate you. I acknowledge you. I get it.
Get the fuck away from me.
But right now, my daughter's on the fucking phone.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have the key to get in. And I need to deal. You know what I mean? So it's you're going to run. That's what I run into. But most people are incredibly gracious, and really all they're saying is, man, wow, man, thank you, man.
Yeah, that shit meant something. Probably every time you leave the house, somebody goes, yo, brother.
Yes.
It becomes invisible after a while, right?
That's the consciousness. If I do that, then I'm going to miss it.
Oh, okay.
I have got to acknowledge those who have had this visceral experience and need to share it. Most people that come up to me and it's the truth, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting you."
Right.
What? So I take that, and I with all humility, I'm gonna meet that with a graciousness of, I hear you, I acknowledge you.
And if you are hot, I will fuck you. I will fuck you.
Baby boy, now we're talking.
Yeah, now we got to the dirty.
Jesus, you were a little bitch. What just happened?
Certain things happen. Hey. Sorry.
But do you feel like you do that when you get off stage?
What's that?
Do you give people 10? I don't feel like that.
Yeah, no, I try to be as
I try to be like, hey,
as sweet as I possibly can.
I try to be like,
so much.
I really try to be gracious, but I can't say that I.
What do you do after a show?
I just say, and people are like, great show. I go, oh,
You're
thank you
not
very
funny.
much.
You're annoying.
But that's what he's saying. That's what somebody says to you after his show.
I just go, thank you very much.
Excuse me,
I
Neal.
feel like
But
you
Neal,
really, Chad takes 10
that's
seconds.
what I'm saying.
I feel like mine
Neal.
takes 5.
But see, it depends on the person as well. But I feel like a comedian is different,
Right.
Because it's yours. The whole thing is yours,
Right.
I just feel like the paradigm is different. I just feel like when you come off the stage as a comedian, you don't really owe the same level, because that's yours. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
came
but I
up with
think
it all.
I can make
I
a
didn't
case
come up
that
with
I
it
can-
all. I didn't come up with this.
Right.
Like, there has to be a humility on my part. I did not write The Wire. I
Right.
did not create Cutty. I collaborated with some folks who did some great stuff, and I met them with some great stuff, but I can't walk around as if I was the center of that thing.
Right.
So
And also, they've already met you on stage. You are
Right.
you on stage, so they know you.
so
they
you
see
can come
you.
off and be who the fuck you want to
Yeah,
be.
so when they see you, Chad, they're like,
Right, but
oh,
I
here's
think
the
it all-
guy. Here's the image of
that's
the,
right.
and here's the real guy.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That-
Oh,
and
okay.
you,
So you're saying,
it's all
yeah.
yours. You've closed the gap already.
Right.
So you don't owe anything to some idea.
But having said
Or
that, you
character.
could also make a case that we should spend, as comics, twice as long.
Right.
Because they just listen to us for an hour. And
Yeah.
like, you were great, and you're trying to go
Well,
like...
have you ever had this? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but have you had this? Like you go like a girl. We always get back to talking
Right.
about girls on the road and stuff.
Of course.
It's like they'll see you do your show, and then you might go home with them or go to a bar with them or hang out with them, and then they're like, "You're off stage." So
I'm
like,
just slutty.
I'm not performing anymore. They're like, "Be funny, do dance, monkey."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm done."
That's
I'm off the clock.
Yeah, man.
Believe me, and yeah, there's an aspect of that to what we do too. And
Sure.
So it's part of what it.
Oh,
do
yeah,
Cutty.
yeah. You're way...
Do
less.
Cutty, do
It happens.
Cutty, like
Listen,
that.
Listen,
You're not
I
a
get off the
stoic-
plane.
Yeah.
I'm going to, just like anybody else, I'm going to Advantage to get my car. People are like, hey, I know you. I'm like, okay, yeah, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thanks, man. And that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
But there's a thing going on in my head, like, well, you should talk to him. And then it was like, no, I'm just going to be present. And there
Did it
is
take you a while to
nothing to
get there?
say.
It took
Yeah,
you a while.
of course.
Yeah.
It was that that act was like, wow, man.
Yeah, because you're
Have you
way...
had a person do that though? Hey, do Cutty.
Yes.
That's so annoying, man. That's a good.
I wouldn't even know what you would do. Cuddy's just kind of stoic and with not withdrawn,
no,
but
Neal. Come on, Neal.
Go ahead.
There's a lot
Neal's
of different,
doing this
Take me to
very
school.
subtle way
a
of
lot
saying
of
do Cutty.
different colors there, and,
Right,
and when
but
you
you're-
watch him,
Yeah.
watch his journey. I mean, if you look at when he went back to try to get his old girl back, and he said to her, it hurts. And she said, well, don't do that. I mean, if you go back and really like, you know what, Neal, just take 2 years to really study.
Go back to the Wire?
Yeah, study. No, don't go back to the Wire.
Go
Just study
to acting
Cutty.
school.
Just study
Oh,
Cutty,
study-
damn
study
it.
Cutty.
Surprise,
That's all I'm
motherfucker.
saying. Shit.
So have you what have you parlayed? Do you feel like everything since The Wire has been people being excited about you, and then like the Green Hornet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Seth Rogen. That was all Seth being a fan of The Wire.
Oh, wow.
And come on the set. It's all excitement, and man, he's here. We got him. And I'm, totally humbled by that, for real. No joke. Just because I dig what he does.
Yeah.
I always have. So when I'm in the Mutual Admiration Club, what the fuck?
And
man.
how did Michel Gondry, I would assume, was a fan as well.
No, not that I felt, not that he really knew, but I just dig that dude's way of going about.
I
shit,
recognize you as
he's having fucking fun. He's having his party.
Michelle, yeah.
Yeah, and I dug that, man. And Seth is just who he is on that goddamn screen. That's who he is, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was great. I didn't bother with shit because initially Nick Cage was supposed to be in the movie.
Right.
And that didn't
your
work
role?
out. So, no, Christoph Waltz, he ended up playing the bad guy.
Oh, right.
Which was supposed to be Nick Cage.
Got it.
And so they were so kind of preoccupied with
Making sure that he landed
Christoph,
okay, yeah.
the Oscar winner,
Customized it and-
lands and is comfortable. So I just...
And you don't care. I mean, are there things? Do you think of shit differently when you're first on the call sheet or fifth?
Yeah, I think. I mean, everybody else does. You know what I mean?
First on the call sheet or fifth means
right. Yeah,
you're basically the fifth most important person that day.
So they say. So they say, you know.
Right.
But the culture, they know the culture. Everybody else knows the culture.
Right.
They know the numbers game, you know.
Do you ever feel, if you're doing a movie with, who were most of your scenes with?
Christoph Waltz.
Okay, did you feel like by you would get, like, he would get more takes than you?
Oh, without question. Shit, that motherfucker had all the lines.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have to worry about.
No. And that was the thing. Like, in that situation, I might have been more assertive in saying, like, "Hey, man, you know, what about if Popeye should do this?" Or da, 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 you know. But they were so. It was a real short window to make sure he was comfortable with what he had to do and everything. Right. So I just left it alone. It's like, yo, you know, it's my first studio film. You know, I just was like, yo, okay, I'm along for the ride. I'm here for the experience. You know, it wasn't.
What's your career? What's your life been like? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. Yep, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and
what kind of family?
I basically, first and foremost, I grew up in the projects, and
we're very sorry.
I was
look, Chad.
Chad, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, man.
But I'm not finished. I mean, wait till you hear the rest
it's not
of
your
the
fault, man. You're a good dude.
man, wait till you hear the rest of this shit. So what had happened was,
did you play basketball?
No.
Did you run track?
We couldn't afford what?
We couldn't afford basketball.
So no, but seriously, man, we were abandoned. You know, 5 of us, 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters, and myself. I was 11 months old. My brother was 7 years old. He tried to cook for us.
You're both your parents bounced?
Yeah. Well, they were. He was out and she was out.
Got it. They were doing. They were on other projects.
They were just out.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know what. You know, like he's over here going like, "Yo, she there? I'm good. I'm straight."
Oh, he thought she was there.
Right.
He's there. I'm good. I think that's kind of how it played out. You know, and my brother, I don't know what period of time we were left alone, but I know my brother at 7 was trying to cook for us, and he set the place on fire.
Oh, wow.
So they came in, and I was.
You blew it!
Yeah, he did. He did. I tried it. I wanted to. That's what I would say that to my brother, please. And
You blew it!
so we ended up in foster care.
Wow. Great.
And I grew up in we were adopted by one family, all 5 of us.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
That's rare,
That's
too, right?
very rare.
Yeah. So, and just a hardworking, older, kind of like grandparents, but they saved our lives, man.
Oh, that's super
really
cool.
real. They saved our lives, and that's where it all began.
Where did you grow up in the? Did you stay in the projects?
No. They were, you know, they lived in. They had a home, and you know, a part of Richmond, Virginia called Church Hill, and because there are a lot of churches there. And
Are your parents still around?
No, my parents died, my mother died of a massive heart attack in her sleep in '97. My father died in 2003 of lung cancer. He had spent his life working at Philip Morris.
Oh, wow.
You know, the factory company deal.
Did you make peace with them?
Yes.
All
the way. My mom, by the time I was 18 years old, we were like, it was like, okay, Mom, you don't have to apologize anymore. It's cool. I get it.
How quickly did she apologize?
Right away. She was already very like, ugh. It was like, I get it. I mean, I really felt her humility in it, and I felt her pain, like wishing she had done something different. So it was like, I'm cool. You cool. You good people. And
so did you end up feeling like you had 4 parents?
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
I have a strange question for you. Do you think, and I hope this doesn't rub you the wrong way, do you think that you would...
You know what? Fuck them up. If it rubs you the... Hey, Chad L.
It's rubbing me.
Already rubbed, motherfucker.
I'm getting rubbed.
No, do you feel
Rub me the right way.
Okay, here we go. If your situation at home hadn't been so chaotic and crazy, do you think that the life you would have led staying in that house would have led you to acting, or do you think that it was that trauma or the foster care, the going into foster care and being raised by those people that led you into the path that you're on now?
All of that was unconscious, and when you have a lot of inner turmoil, the arts are a perfect place. That no one consciously said that, but that's where I landed. And yes, I was working a lot of shit out, but that outlives its usefulness at some point, because it's really not about that. You gotta kind of solve this identity crisis of who you really are, because it becomes a problem. If I identify myself totally on the experiences that happened in my life, that's what happened to me. That's not who I am, but I had to come to that. And then you go into the arts thing, of course, and you got all this stuff. So I'm doing a scene and I'm drawing, but my teacher is saying, from a craft standpoint, draw from your past. Where I got a lot of rich past to draw from. And when I did that, the results were like, oh shit, wow.
Wait, would you in foster care? Who would stop and be like, this motherfucker wasn't in foster care?
But I didn't, that was the thing, like the first experience I had in acting, that was like that out of body experience. I was drawing off of that. I was doing a scene from A Raisin in the Sun, and my teacher and I was always adept at language, and I knew how to interpret the word off the page. That was all good. But he just came and he drove his hand, into my abdomen, like, son, it's got to come from here. Now you got to go. I don't know what the fuck you gonna think about, but you got to think about something, and you got to come back. And so I thought about my foster parents. Now, none of the other actors, we're all young actors in high school, and I just had a total about all this stuff start spewing out of me, but it was in the framework of the play, because I never lost the discipline of the play. And many actors are like that. They're scared to go there because they think they're going to lose control. But the way I learned it was right in the discipline of the play. Everybody's like, oh my God, how'd you do that? What were you doing? Oh my God. And I wasn't going to tell anybody that. That's how they sounded.
Can you settle Moshe, you want to have a bet?
Okay.
Whether his foster parents were white or black?
I think they were black.
Don't answer.
Neal thinks they were white.
I think that they were white.
What do you got?
Man,
does that make me a racist?
That progressive at that time in Virginia, bro.
They were black.
Yes, they were black.
I thought they were black too.
They were black. I told you they were like grandparents. Yeah.
White people are grandparents too.
Nah,
not really.
All right, I have a thing that black dudes are better off having spent a lot of time around white people.
Well, I did spend a lot of time.
Okay, exactly.
And here's my deal with all of that.
I don't say that they're
because I'm
raised
telling
by,
you guys have, the work you've done on that end, and your partnership. I mean, man, it is you guys were the driving force to me in moving us forward.
You mean white
Chappelle
people?
Show?
Yes.
Chappelle Show. Okay.
You know that.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I deal with it now. I just think as far as our African Americans, the evolutionary process is going to have to be. You got to move forward, and you got to know who you are, man. Outside of being stuck in we have our own like narrow ideas of who we are.
Yeah. The black people with their own ideas.
It's like, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. But that's been my experience my whole life. Everybody's like, Chad's a white boy.
Right.
That's just and so when I saw you guys doing what you were doing, I was like, wow, finally somebody's kind of speaking to like me, and like I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm just being me.
Right.
And so what that is vaster than anybody's definition or idea.
Yeah, it's aspirational. It's not just like, motherfucker, here's what you are.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. I like I like Led Zeppelin. I like fucking.
I want to be on The Wire, for God's
I
sake.
like
I'm getting
Lil
ready.
Wayne. I like all that shit. And yeah.
Right. And
but did you grow up in like what? Did you grow up around white kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up.
School,
no,
high
I
school.
grew up around predominantly. It was predominantly black, but like my sister was like, man, listen to this music. Check this out. She was playing acoustic guitar, But then, and when I went to college and everything, yes, I had my buddy used to fuck with me like, dang, man, you went full Anglo.
Because of your
Because
interest.
my theater, like I'm with
Yeah.
my theater, and it's like I'm not trying to okay, I'll turn into this just to be. It's just fluid. It's just
Well,
a part
that's
of who
what
I am.
I think that there's way
Right.
more guys like that in culture now. I think
I think so,
Jay-Z
too.
being one of them, Kanye being one of them, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
He's a rapper. You wouldn't know it.
He's
'cause
also a humble dude. He's
you,
also a
you
humble guy.
focus mostly on white shit, but as a guy who knows
Jay-
what black
As a
is,
brother, I will say Jay-Z.
Kanye, I think Puffy in some ways.
What
I
are you
think,
talking about? Like real Renaissance men? Is that
No,
what you
what
mean?
we're talking about.
No, I'm being
I think we're
serious.
saying
I'm
it's
talking
a
about
vast.
black guys.
Listen,
Black guys are
in our
not just-
community.
yeah.
In our community, there are. These are the rules. This, if you
yeah.
black, you better be doing this.
This is how you
better be
dress.
talking like
This is
this.
what
You
this is
better
what
say
you
this.
better
and
listen to
that.
this.
And
You better
then-
like these shows.
Oh, homie, I'm knowing.
Okay.
Tell you, beautifully done. You spent a lot of time.
I have put in work.
Good work.
He studied Cutty.
So for me, like with the show I'm on now, I Hate My Teenage Daughter.
Right.
My sister said, "Yeah, we already knew you had that white boy humor," and I'm like, "That's what my sister said."
Funny.
And I mean, I love it, man, because and that's what you guys were doing.
Right.
You know, you were just getting like my stepson's experience at 20 years old with the Chappelle Show.
Right.
Totally different. Like the absurdity and the bullshit of it all.
Right.
It's funny.
It's
But
absurd
then
in a way that he didn't experience it. Like,
No, he loved it. No,
but I'm saying, like, because I know just from working at Nickelodeon 20 years ago, they would every show was like real integrated, and I was like, I wonder what this is gonna. And I feel like kids internalize that.
That's interesting you say that because I sometimes watch shows like that and I feel like this is nice that they're doing this, but it doesn't reflect my experience in Oakland Public Schools. Yeah, I'm from
It
Oakland.
doesn't
like
it doesn't
okay.
you know what I mean? It's like
So
black
what-
kids hung
what
out
it
with black
was
kids.
like?
White
What
kids,
was it like?
White kids hung out with white kids.
the
Everybody
deadly
was so
streets of Oakland.
segregated. Elementary school, everybody was together. The minute we got to middle school, people just were like to their own groups, and you would be friendly with one another. But it was so I always thought that's nice.
So
that
now that's
they're
what
trying
I'm
to
talking
engineer
about. So now the codes. So on both sides of the street, you know, black and white, and we can get a whole thing about that but anyway, what the so-called black and so-called white sides of the street, there were codes, right?
For sure, yeah.
There were things that were like, this is a written rule. This is how you must be.
Well, growing up in where I grew up, the rules were
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California. I mention this every fucking time, and people are sick of hearing about it. But black was the highest social rung in Oakland Public Schools,
Oh,
so everybody really just wanted to be black. So I understand exactly what you mean, but in Oakland, it seemed like everybody the rules were we wanted to be black.
Okay, now,
what I mean?
all right.
And that's-
So in
yeah.
that's a certain level of distortion and
For sure.
and
It's
certain
also weird.
like undue reverence.
But I think
and
culturally,
stuff
yeah, exactly.
that
But I think
happens.
culturally, that's how it was for me. It's
But
like
that
I
makes
grew up.
sense.
My heroes were Spike Lee, Michael Jordan, and hip hop.
Okay.
And Chuck D. So like,
Well, hip hop's not a dude,
All right,
to be fair.
but
No, but
Neal,
that's what I- you
all
know
right,
what I
fine, fair enough. On a certain, okay.
I hear
so
exactly
Neal,
what you're saying, though.
So on both sides, what was resonating with you? Because I think what was resonating wasn't race, though.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
But we get distracted because this is such a race-based society.
Absolutely.
That we get caught up. It's like what you were really interested in was like the personality, the fortitude
Yeah.
of this cat, the way he spoke. It was
Yeah.
like language. It was like
Yeah.
And vice
style. It was
versa,
like,
Chad.
you know,
Like what you were really interested in was music and culture.
Right, but
and
prior
theater.
to a
and-
certain
exactly.
both sides. That's
and you
what I'm.
and you don't have the permission to want what you want
Yeah,
and love what you love
This
because
is
you're
what-
outside of these
right,
rules.
This thing doesn't work that way.
Right.
Or somehow somebody has this pervading presence that says, you know, it's like, you know, in The Wizard of Oz, the guy with, you know, I told you can't.
Right.
And so you're dealing with that. And my sister was always like, outside of that box, she was determined to be just her authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was never like, I'm not trying to, lose myself.
Yeah.
Or I'm not trying to misappropriate, you know, I don't want to be black.
Right.
It was none of that. It was the vastness of it's a human experience.
Right.
It's like, yo, I heard what that guy said.
Yeah.
That shit was cool. Yo, did you hear that? That was,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Allowing yourself to like, hey, like Jay-Z and Kanye are like, hey, we like Radiohead.
But also,
And
and
Daft
it's like
Punk
it's also who's making these rules on either. No one. There isn't even there's no consciousness. It's just like this is the unstoppable force of the status
the norms.
quo. You
But
know
I'm
what I
saying
mean?
even you and I were on the opposite end of it, being quote unquote wiggers.
Sure.
And now I don't even think that exists anymore.
I think you're right, and also and vice versa. It's like all of a sudden everything is a mashup now. You know
I think
what
it's corny
But
to
we're
not like
not-
white shit if you're black.
and vice versa.
Yes.
and it's racist and weird and
What you're saying about Jay-Z and Kanye, you know,
Yeah.
these guys are incredibly intelligent human beings.
Yeah.
But we got all these paradigm definitions already set up.
yeah, you
So
almost have to be
fall
as a
into
black. Like for a long time, Jay-Z was liked white shit kind of in the closet.
right. Just what I'm
Like
talking
he
yeah, I get
he's
it.
really into The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Some bullshit right there.
Right.
He's never around about it
Right.
because he kind of can't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you have, but see, only part of the stuff, advertising and shit, you know?
Yeah.
In the advertising world, they go, man, if I can't completely define this shit, then I can't sell it.
It's not clear yet.
The fuck is black, BET, black entertainment?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is a black movie? It's a movie. If we don't begin to start to open this shit up and say
Tyler Perry.
it's the human experience, is all we're having. Don't tell me because the color of my skin is, this is the hue of my skin that you can't go to a movie and catch something.
No, I think that's
it's
right.
all-
I
but
think,
having said that, it's really incremental.
yeah, I was
Yes,
just going to say
absolutely.
that. It's like all of
works both ways.
us in this generation and in the generations before us, it's like all the rules of culture and race and society and things we should be. It's like it's a mountain, and we all have like a needle and a teeny little ball peen hammer. We're like one little grain of sand at a time.
I agree.
But
You're willing.
yeah, right.
I'm willing.
yeah.
Because it's who I
very
am.
brave of us.
we are such heroes.
I have to get security to walk me to my car because this is a serious
I
thing.
mean, no, you jest, but it is very true, man. You know,
Yeah.
It's
But
funny
you
'cause
guys
it's true.
are fucking trailblazers. Very good, very good.
You're the best.
You guys are fucking trailblazers. We all know it. We knew what you guys were up against because the generations
Neal doesn't
before,
need to hear this. The
Those
truth is.
fucking
No, but you
generations.
don't-
I'm gonna say this shit because it's the goddamn truth. And we.
Chappelle Show, all of your Neal Brennans.
Damn, see, they even wrote a rap.
That was-
They even wrote a
But
rap
you
about it.
understand what I'm saying, Neal.
Yeah.
And this is what
Somebody
I'm
said, I can't say who said this. It was a famous politician said in regards to gay marriage. They said, they go, we just have to wait in terms of getting it passed. She was like, we just have to wait for people to die.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Like, we
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I
generations
heard that.
have
Yeah,
to
right.
die
It's
off.
like
But-
one of our ball
but-
peen hammer needles is
Exactly.
old people. Everyone's going into the heart of a vampiric old man.
Yeah.
Somebody else said that they identify with it. This is our civil rights.
Right.
This generation,
the gay marriage?
right?
Yeah.
is there, and it is true. It's like, but if we don't find a way to stop being distracted by race, we're gonna miss so much richness. You know, we're considered risk. We're not risk.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we are considered. You are considered that. I'm considered that.
What about
In
me?
abnormal,
Am I considered
abnormality?
No.
I don't know what category to put you in.
Risk. What do you mean by risk in terms of like that I like black shit?
That's like, and this is
I do black shows.
This is how I am, but that's you.
Right.
That is authentically who
Yeah.
you are. You're not trying to create
Right.
something for some gimmicky
Right.
thing. This is just who you are.
Look, I like to fuck the stool just as much as the next. I like to bring a towel out there like a real black performer. I have a funny name. I fuck the stool.
There's a real
That's why I
nigga.
told you not to encourage him.
just
It might be true, but he doesn't need to hear it nonetheless.
I will fuck the
he
stool.
will.
say
Okay.
the shit is a
Are you
trip.
fuck the stool? Okay. Now.
I will dance for 8 seconds. At
That
the
is
beginning of my set.
essentially the black experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, This has been a deep conversation, man.
This has, man. I didn't mean to.
No, I like. But that's what we are. That's what we
that's
do.
what
man.
we do.
We do silly shit. We talk shit, and then it gets deep every time. So that's what this show is all
I think
about.
we should bounce around with that. I mean, I think that's the fabric of the country.
I love this guy.
Going, man. I think my daughter. I watch my daughter with her friends for real, man. And I'm recording it. She's like, "Daddy, why are you fucking?" She didn't say fucking, but it's close. But why? What are you doing?
Right.
This is who we are.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, and I get that.
And are
baby.
they who they are is what? Just integrated.
Rainbow, yes,
Right.
all the way.
And not even
they
second
ain't
nature.
preoccupied, but they can talk about it. They can talk about race,
Right.
but it's never like a weird preoccupation with it. It's like it has its places and its moments.
It is funny because I don't find it as much as it's like progress is being made. When I talk about race on here or on stage or whatever, it doesn't feel like tired. Like, why the fuck are you talking?
Well, it's what this whole country is built on. Is built on race, and that's the way it is. So
and that's what we're all.
Yeah.
On some level, we all have to negotiate it.
Right.
You know? And how you choose to deal is how you choose to deal. But I'm not.
Does that make me a racist?
yes,
I'm not gonna lose myself. I'm not.
it
I'm
doesn't
not
seem like you.
I'm gonna be like, fuck it, man. I know, and it's not easy. Believe me. You know
No.
what?
Do you still get that like motherfucker? You on that white shit?
Yeah.
Oh, you like people will still say that.
Yeah.
so
that's
fuck
crazy.
those people. Fuck
Yeah.
the haters. Haters
That's,
gonna hate.
But I ain't mad at them.
Right, I'll be mad. For you.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That's what I should say.
That's what we. This has been a great conversation, man. Thank you for coming
Chad
by.
L. Coleman. I hate
Chad
it.
L. Coleman. Fuck with him. Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
Yes, Chad Elko.
Find Matt,
Follow
Chad
me.
L. Coleman. Find Neal at Neal Brennan. Me, I'm at Moshe Kasher. And there is find all of our websites for our upcoming stand-up dates. And
I'm all over North Carolina and South Carolina.
and I'm going to be on my big book tour. I'm at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove on the 28th of March, my book release, and then at Book Soup on the 30th, and then all over the country. So go to MosheKasher.com for all of that information.
And I got Life, Love, Soul coming out April 13th. Limited AMC theaters. Please check that out.
Life,
I Hate
Love,
My
Soul.
Teenage Daughter is on Fox, 8:30 Tuesday, starting Tuesday, March 6th. Please check it out.
We didn't even
And-
get into that.
Yeah,
Is it a new
because
show?
that's what I mean.
that shit sounds white.
I'm going from exactly. you know what I mean?
Pete Holmes wrote on
Oh my
that.
God, that's why I can't wait for.
Do you
people to see
also
it.
hate Chris?
It ain't Cutty, bro.
Do you
So,
hate Chris too?
Hey,
shit,
my
I
teenage
always
daughter. Everybody.
I
hates-
hate
everybody
them
hates
all.
Chris.
I hate them all. I hate
So watch I Hate My Teenage Daughter. Watch
Yeah.
what was the name of the film?
Life, Love, Soul.
Life, Love, Soul coming out. And DJ Douggpound. You got anything coming up?
Just check me out at Twitter.
Check him out at
Douggpound.
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 Hey yo, you fucked with the champs, ladies and gentlemen.
So fucked.
Okay.